Hi, this is Jacob Erdy with MarketingPlayBook.co, and today we're going to be talking about list building, specifically list building for small businesses. And I am running a little late here. It's 2:07. Usually we start all the live hangouts where you can ask any question you want live every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's 2:07, so I'm a few minutes late. Usually that doesn't happen, but I scheduled this hangout, and for some reason I must have deleted it because it wasn't there, or maybe I didn't confirm it. I don't know, but it's something I should have caught and I didn't. So I'm just kind of jumping in here because it wasn't scheduled. So I was a few minutes late getting it up, which means most people probably weren't notified about it. So I apologize if you originally heard about this and wanted to attend the live session. You can always ask your questions in the comments afterwards, as well as on our MarketingPlayBook.co website. Under the Hangout section is where this video is going to be set up. Again, if you have questions too as well around digital marketing for your small business or digital marketing in general, feel free and email us, join our newsletter, respond there, and we'll get back to you with any answers we have. Or if you have show ideas, that's always encouraged. And this actually today was brought up by somebody who listened to one of our earlier podcasts and kind of made mention of, hey, I'm always told that the money's in the list. Is that true? Is email really that important to my business? And this was a service-based company, so not an e-commerce company. I'm finding more and more people in the offline world, in the service-based world, are the ones who are truly struggling when it comes to digital marketing. And so you're going to find that, especially going forward, a lot of our material is going to, it's already been kind of service-based industry focused, but even further, it's going to be a little bit more service-based focused, which translates very, very well into e-commerce for e-commerce companies out there. So there's no issues. So back to what we're doing today, and that is, should I build an email list for my small business? And the answer to that is most likely yes. And I say most likely because not everybody out there is going to be cut out to do it. Now, unless you're actually going to do the work and actually build a content strategy, then it's not going to be worth it for you, because in order to be successful at building and getting money out of that list, out of that email list, you have to do certain things in there. And those certain things are building that customer loyalty and building that rapport with your customer, so they trust you, so you establish yourself as an authority. And I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but the basic answer is should you? Yes, probably. And this hangout, as well as article, which will be posted on the MarketingPlayBook.co website along with this video, I'm going to have a written guide, and that written guide should really help you out quite a bit. So I'd recommend you check that out. And so what makes email marketing work? And basically, humans are creatures of habit. So, if we were going to get our oil changed at one place, chances are next time you want your oil changed, guess where you're going to go? You're going to go to that place, right? It's familiar to us. We've already been through the process once. And once we've already gone through the process once and learned it, we're far more likely to repeat that process. So if I go to one grocery store, I'm far more likely to return to that grocery store. Even if a new one opens up closer to my house, I'm already familiar with the other one. So you run into this quite a lot. And so by having your email list, you can just stay there and stay relevant in front of the person. So it's just kind of like a branding opportunity for you of just staying relevant, so they understand who you are and are more likely to return to you, thus developing the habit. So the first thing is not just that we're creatures of habit, but we're also creatures of familiarity. And that's a key point. So building a relationship and establishing yourself as an authority. And this is a key thing with email, that especially in the service-based industry, that you really have to focus on. And it's not just about, okay, you providing that great customer service that first time out when servicing, the client's car, right? And that's perfectly great and fine, and that's absolutely what's needed to help build your business and establish yourself. But you're also going to have to be building that relationship online, or online, through your email list. And this can really help you establish yourself as an authority in the field. And you can do that through your content strategy, which we discussed last week, which is fantastic because that actually can tie in really, really nicely to your email funnel. You can use that exact same content that you're using on your social media and your website as in with your email list. As a matter of fact, with your email list, you can actually just forward them and just say, hey, we wrote this article on ABC, go check it out, click here. And that click here goes to your website where you're establishing yourself as an authority in the field. So that can be really interesting. Let me go ahead and let me turn on the messaging screen. So if you have any questions for those who are watching, you can go ahead and ask the questions live. Where is the button again? Oh, I'll look for it here in a second. Let's go ahead and move on. So, you know, the other thing with email is for it to work is providing that value. And that comes down to you actually providing something of value to the end user, something that's going to benefit them. Because if it's ultimately not going to benefit them, it's not going to do any good. It's not going to work. Nobody's going to like you, right? And really, that's what we're here to do. We're here to be liked. So let's look at an oil sales company. I mentioned the oil example before. If you go to, you know, creatures of familiarity and visiting the same oil place over and over, and for anyone who has gotten an oil change, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's not just me. You go to the places that you've already went to before because they're familiar. So when a customer checks in, you know, we can capture their email. And now that we capture their email, we can set up an autoresponder for every 3 months, right? So every 3 months when they need the oil change, we can offer them, you know, ABC loyalty discount or upgrade or something along those lines. And so the benefit is there that we're offering for them signing up to our newsletter, because remember, we have to add value. The benefit is reminding the person that they need an oil change. And that is something that a lot of people need to know, like, hey, it's time for your oil change. Just like your dentist tells you, hey, it's time to clean your teeth again. You're like, no, not again, so soon. But the same thing happens with oil changes, right? So the next benefit we have up is you can offer a discount or value proposition. So this can be pretty important early on in the customer's life cycle, because and depending upon how long your sales cycle is and your customer life cycle and customer, you know, long-term customer value, and whether you're measuring that or not, which we'll go into at some point in time, because those are all statistics that you should be familiar with. But offering a discount to somebody who's already a customer to get them to come back really enforces the individual from being not just familiar with your place, but a force of habit, right? You want them to think, if you're the oil change company, oh, I need an oil change. There's no place I'm going to go except for ABC place. And my wife is like that when it comes to getting gas. There's only one gas station that she wants to go to, and that is it, period. It doesn't matter where we're at. You know, she's at half a tank. She'll go to that gas station because she likes that gas station. And in that way, she fills up there right away and has that full tank of gas. That way, in case she's stuck somewhere way across town, she doesn't ever have to worry about it. So you know, building up from familiarity to force a habit. That's what we want, and that's what you want to install on people through your email list. So that comes to, well, all right, the money's in the list. I understand that. And that's good information to have. I'm going to take a quick sip of my espresso. I ran out of coffee filters, so I've just been making espressos today, and this is my third, and wow, espressos. Woo! They give you some kick, I'll tell you that. So there are many different programs out there that you can use to help build your email list. And a lot of them, you know, these are going to be not just lead capturing software, but ones that actually help you distribute the emails out. And you might have some that are very, very industry specific to you. So if you're in real estate, I'm sure there's some real estate ones out there that are just for real estate leads and nurturing those type of real estate leads. And they already have predefined funnels set up in there for you to use, which is great. But for most people out there, really, you don't need something too complicated, especially starting off, especially if you're a small business, right? You just want something that works and that's fairly easy to use. And so the ones I'd recommend would be MailChimp, Aweber, Constant Contact, and then SendGrid. So those four are fantastic. They're relatively cheap to use. They offer great features in there, pretty solid customer service, a lot of how-to ads, and for the most part, they plug in very, very well with other software out there. So if you're on WordPress, for instance, if your website's hosted on WordPress, there's a lot of external plugins for that allow for like pop-ups in your screen and sidebar widgets for your newsletter and just other things you can do with your newsletter. There's a lot of plugins out there who support MailChimp, Aweber, Constant Contact, and SendGrid. So those are good ones to use and relatively cheap. So you're not having to spend a fortune to get them going. And so those are the email software that I'd recommend. I'll just cover another quick benefit that I don't see anybody really ever talking about when it comes to email list. And for that, it's cross-marketing. Now, cross-marketing happens a lot in my world. In the digital marketing world, you might have guest appearances and guest people on your shows. And, think of a news outlet. They constantly have guest appearances from people who have shows on other networks or on radio stations. And that's all part of marketing, right? So they kind of exchange places, you might say, to build upon each other's audiences. So you, as a company, have your own audience. You have your group of customers, and you can market to your group of customers another business who's not necessarily overlapping, but can be of value to your business. So if you are an oil change company, this might be somebody who pushes out dents in cars, somebody who repairs scratches on cars, or something else, maybe a windshield replacement or windshield, repairing the cracks in the windshield. So there might be cross-marketing opportunities for you to look into. And this might mean calling up companies and saying, hey, we have a list of, 1,000 active subscribers, all customers of ours, and we're looking to do some cross marketing. Do you have an email list? And if they say no, then move on. If they say yes, we do. We have a list of 500. Well, is there an opportunity for us to work together? And from doing that, you're co-branding yourself, especially if the other company to be reputable. You're leveraging their social approval and their reputation with yours and your branding. So you're getting yourself out there more. And this is something, like I said, I never hear anybody talking about it. And part of it is because a lot of businesses don't really build their email lists. The smaller companies don't, and the bigger ones aren't necessarily talking to you, right? But if you're comfortable picking up a phone, if you have your own list that you've built, that's definitely something that you need to look into, because it can add tremendous value. You can have 500 people all of a sudden know of your auto, know to, okay, next time an oil change, I might just check this person out. And so especially if there's a good discount in there to get them in the door, to create the familiarity that I was referring to. And then you build familiarity, it's a hard word to pronounce for me, into a habit for individuals, and I'll go down that route. So let's go ahead and carry on though for out of cross marketing and talk more about the email list. So, and this is something else that a lot of people don't talk about. They say, yes, the money's in the list, and yes, you need to build a list. And here's why you need to build a list, but then they don't really tell you, okay, well, you purchase the email software, so how do you get leads to your list? That's like the secret thing that people don't really talk about. And there's a lot of ways of doing it, and they don't talk about it because they haven't done it themselves, or it's not a one size fits all. You do have to think outside the box, but luckily you don't have to think too far outside the box. I've helped come up with quite a bit of strategies over the years for small businesses to come up with ideas of generating leads into their email list. And it's not all that hard. All it takes is kind of knowing and understanding the process, and always trying to provide value. And that's what it really comes down to, is providing value to your customer and end user. And you, being an expert in your field, know how to do that better than anybody else. And it's up to you to kind of educate the customer of saying, hey, yes, sign up to our email list for ABC. And I'll get into some examples here. So let's take a look. And I have a few things written down that to keep me on track. So how do you get emails into your list? Well, if you're using WordPress and you're using one of the clients I recommended earlier, you can use WordPress plugins out there that plug in these type of clients, such as Bloom from Elegant Themes. It's what I use on MarketingPlayBook.co. So if you go there and if you do see a pop after like 10 or 30 seconds or something like that, it's all powered by Bloom. So I'm using Bloom to actually help capture my leads, and I'm a fan of them. I like them. And so that's a good way of doing it on your website. Also, if you have them on your website, directly to your website, doing a lead magnet program or lead magnet for them to opt into is fantastic. So, if you're a roofing company, this could be the top 10 mistakes homeowners make when replacing their roof. So that something like that, it creates curiosity, it creates fear of loss for the person reading it, a little bit of a sense of urgency, especially if they're looking at replacing the roof anytime soon. So you have a couple of the marketing elements are already working there, and those type of lead magnets help to establish yourself as an authority in the field. And within there, you include your phone number and say, hey, call for a free estimate. And you also have them on your email list, which now you push into your content funnel that you set up. And we'll talk more about that here in a second. And offline is a bit more complicated. And like I said, we're trying to go more into service-oriented businesses and focus more on that. So I wrote down some examples for an oil change company, because there's different ways of thinking about this, and you can substitute your oil change company for anything else. And the first thing that we'll look at is value based on customer needs. So here's the oil company. My asked, would you like to be reminded of would you like to be reminded when you need an oil change next? Customer, yes, I would. And great. What's the best email to use? Don't worry, we won't spam, or something along those lines. And so there, you're thinking of the customer, and you're saying, would you like to be reminded that the next time you need an oil change? And yeah, sure. Okay, well, is it 3 months or 4 months for you? And whatever the questions are that you ask there. To get them. So there, you're doing it based upon a customer need, a value. So you can do it also assuming the sale. So you could ask something like, we're reducing the amount of paper waste we send out. Would you like to be notified by email over us mailing you a postcard? So there, you're already assuming that they're going to get it. They're either going to get it via postcard, or they're going to get it via email. And you're now giving them the option of saying, would you like to opt out of getting the postcard? Or the postcard, that was a bad finger that was left, sorry. Would you like to get the postcard or the email? And so you kind of pushing them both ways there a little bit, and you can reword that however you want. I'm just giving some examples of how you can train your employees to ask for an email, because that seems to be really, really hard for a lot of companies to do. Oh, we don't know how to train our employees to do this. Well, it's not that hard. You have them ask a question with a smile on their face, right? And if they can't do that, well, they might be looking for a new job. So the monetary proposition, this is probably one of the easiest ones, and I don't like to use it or jump to it right away. But if other ones aren't really working for you, then this one's definitely one to try. And so, hey, I see this is your first time with us for an oil change. Would you like to save $5 a day by signing up to be notified via email about the next time you need to change your oil? So, hey, email address, we give you $5 off, right? Or an ABC deal or something like that. So it's not too much that you have to do. Monetary propositions don't usually have to be that much to kind of tweak the person into doing it. So, one of the other things with emails and email lists that tend to be overlooked, and more so with small businesses than anything else, and I see this constantly when I review a company's business plan, and that is testimonials. They're afraid to ask for a testimonial, and emails are one of the great ways of doing it, because somebody's satisfied with it. You shoot them a quick email. Hey, write us a review at Google, right? Or, Google Plus. Write us a review on Yelp. Write us a review at ABC and XYZ. And that can go a really, really long ways into helping your online reputation, because if other people see you have 56 5-star reviews in Google Plus, well, that's going to help you rank on the Google Maps, right? If in the search engine, that's also going to help you rank and give you trust and authority, because if I'm looking at that, and believe me, I look at Google Plus ratings, I don't look at Yelp ratings, because Yelp's a scam. I'll say that. I believe Yelp is a scam, and any small businesses using Yelp, I feel bad for, because you feel like you're being blackmailed into having to use it. I'll say that. Hopefully they don't come after me. That's my opinion. Yelp is a scam. But yeah, so it's getting that customer testimonial, and there's other tools. There's reputation management tools out there as well that you can use in conjunction with your email software that basically says, oh, okay, write this review and rate us. And as you're going through that process, and let's say you rate them a 5-star, then it'll say, okay, great, hit this button to post it on Facebook or to post it on Google Plus. And if it's a 3-star or under, they'd be like, oh, we're sorry you don't like this. Please reach out to us to see how we could have done better for you. And so you basically funneling it off. So the good reviews are going to the public domain, and the bad reviews are kind of being shuffled back into you. Instead of being made public and being pushed public, they're going back to you for you to address internally to say, okay, how did we mess up this time? And everybody's going to mess up. It's going to happen. You can't have 100% customer satisfaction rate. It'll never happen. But you can try, and you should try. And you, being a small business owner, already know, right, that that's the core of your business is your reputation, being liked. So getting that customer testimonials and review is really one of the big reasons for doing email lists. Even if you get no more customers out of it or repeat customers out of it, it's great just for that. So definitely have that be part of your content strategy as one of your goals, is getting customer reviews and testimonials from it. So lastly, and we're closing in on the gap here, almost done, we have developing a content strategy. And I covered this last week in the last week's Hangout, and we have a great article that I wrote pretty in depth too on the MarketingPlayBook.co that includes a video. If you haven't watched it yet, I definitely, it's one of the best Hangouts we've done so far. So developing a content strategy, it's a must read. It's a must review for you. So definitely check it out. And there, what we have is we talked about developing that content strategy for your business, and how to put that plan into action, and what to include in there, and how to write good content and everything. And you can use that same great content on your email list. So if you're that oil change company, you can have your scheduled autoresponders going out. So one every 4 months, if the person's getting the oil change every 4 months. Have that go out for their sales reminder. If you're a Christmas store, you can start, autoresponders for November, Christmas in July. I don't know. It's up to you. So you have four emails there for a 12-month period if you're an oil change company, and then you can go into doing something of it's about staying relevant in front of the user. So just having them remember and be familiar with your name, and keep that familiarity going until they can form that habit. And this can be through curated content. So you can, use other people's content and say, oh, well, here's the top 5 safety vehicles for 2017. If you're an oil change company, well, your customer drives a car, they're probably interested. I'm always interested in safety. And so 5 safety vehicles, that probably ties in. You don't have to even write the article. You can just say, here it is, go look at it. Which is fantastic. Using other people's content, other people's good content, and you're just linking to it. Man, couldn't it be simpler, right? And so you can have that set up for, so it's already done and ready to go. It's going to go out, 1 month after they sign up to your newsletter. And then you have your next month, your next month, your 12 months worth of content set up. So it might just be, if you're in the service-based industry, it might just be a once a month touch. You don't have to do much. In fact, I wouldn't recommend you do a whole lot. Unless you're able to provide that value each and every time to the customer. Don't send the content out. So the other ones might be curiosity pieces. So what maintenance does an electrical car need? Maybe what your oil company thinks of electric cars. So that could be a good one. Just from forming a curiosity piece. And then, this is content you have written on your website that you're just linking to. You're just saying, hey, here's a quick first paragraph on it. Read the whole article at blah, 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 at your website. And, you can use that same content on your Facebook and your social sites and everything else like that, which is why, having great content really helps. And if you need great content, feel free and contact us. We can put a package together for you. So otherwise we have the how-tos. How-tos are some of my favorites. So especially if you're in a service-based industry. So how to quickly repair a car dent, how to remove annoying car scratches, what emergency supplies do you need in your car, making your headlights brighter, what is weather winterization for your car? What's it look like? What's it entail? And, those type of packages that you put together, and you're not necessarily selling. And that's like the thing that I have to get so many small businesses out of the frame of mind. They're always thinking, okay, no, it's a promotion. It's I'm selling. With emailing, with social, it's not necessarily selling. It's providing value, educating, establishing yourself as an authority in the niche. They're going to come to you. Right? To oil change, they've already got your oil change. They've enjoyed your first 3 emails. Guess what? They're going to go back to you. Familiarity, and then habit forming. So as long as you're providing good customer services, it's really, really easy to retain customers. When I had my computer repair company, my repeat business was phenomenally high, and it was just because, hey, I offered good customer service. That's what you do, right? And when you build in these little touchbacks in place, how to keep your computer running fast and things like that, it goes such a long ways into them referring you and everything like that. So a key point is leveraging what content already goes into your emails from just your content strategy. So you have your content strategy in place, and just leverage that with your emails that you send out, and you'll be good to go. So let me think if there's anything else that there is to add on this. I will say I spoke with a company the other day, and they do $25 million annually. And that's the revenue that they generate, is $25 million. And it was really interesting hearing them and speaking with them and getting insight into how their business runs. And with it, the insight I got from it was that email for them is slowly going down. And granted, they're a pretty big company all in all with what they do. They have 2 million active users and like 30 million total users. So for them, they've noticed that email is winding down a little bit, and I've seen the same for a lot of big companies out there too. And it's because a lot of people are overloaded with their inbox. They're already busy. They don't have as much time, and that's perfectly fine, right? And it started declining for them, I think, in 2009 or 2010. So it's 2016 now, and heading into 2017, and people aren't necessarily. Email isn't as strong as it used to be, but that doesn't mean in any way whatsoever that email isn't strong. So it's still a vital part of their business. And while it might be on a slight decline, and that might continue over the next few years, as mobile picks up and maybe mobile push notifications and other things along those lines, it's still definitely worth your time in going into it. Just wanted to bring that up because I've heard it that, oh no, I shouldn't even build a list because it's going down. And I'll tell you, that's just not true. If you look at most companies' ROI, and I've gotten to look at numerous reports for companies, and especially big ones, almost all of them, their ROI, where they are the most profitable, where they make the most money, is from their email list. So it might cost, $5 or $6 to get that subscriber into their sales funnel. But once they're in that sales funnel, the lifetime value of the customer is just phenomenal. So getting somebody into your list and nurturing that list and nurturing that comment, that customer can be a great boom for your business. So World Luck, it doesn't look like any questions came in. That's just perfectly fine. If you do have questions, just post a comment below. Be happy to answer it. If you have any show ideas, feel free and reach out. Again, I'm Jacob Erdy with MarketingPlayBook.co. And feel free and sign up to our email newsletter. It's going to be on the MarketingPlayBook.co website, of course. We also do, like I mentioned before, we have live weekly hangouts every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. We also are doing numerous content and strategy guides on the MarketingPlayBook.co website. So we have some pretty good guides out there right now on AdWords search, AdWords display. I got some nice social content up there for content marketing and strategies for small businesses. And soon we will be building out a back end forum. It's going to be a private access forum for members to join. If you're interested, go over to the MarketingPlayBook.co website /connect. And we should actually have a link now on the homepage to our Connect page. And there you can actually connect to us on Twitter, connect to us on YouTube, subscribe on YouTube, and the like. And by doing so, you're going to be invited into the private group there on Facebook that we're starting to set up. That way you can network with other small businesses and you can ask direct questions to us. And that's going to be a precursor to us actually establishing a private forum on the back end of MarketingPlayBook.co. And I'll launch that when the following's big enough and when we get things progressed a little bit more. But for now, that's the plan anyway. So be sure and connect with us, MarketingPlayBook.co /connect. It lists all the areas for you to connect on us, and that way you can ask questions, you can tweet at us, you can do all that fun stuff. So that is it for this hangout /podcast /live webinar. Maybe not a webinar, but yeah. So that's it. Thank you for watching and take care.